Welcome everyone to the 334th Knowledge Seekers Workshop for Thursday, June 25th, 2020. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, and part of the Education Department and Public Teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond. I'll be your host today, as we are joined with Mr. Mehran Keshe of the Keshe Foundation, who will be directing today's workshop. Mr. Keshe, are you ready for today's show?
Yes, good morning, good day to you. As usual, welcome to the series of Knowledge Seekers, wherever and whenever you listen to this series. It's an interesting day today, and as we develop new ways and new things to do, one of the good news we have is the final report for Corona to be released by the Keshe Foundation in conjunction with the International Defense University of Iran is completed. Accordingly, as you all know, as Keshe Foundation, we invested huge amount of money and time into Keshe Foundation Global in the United States. The stock share is more stock holding, and by laws of stock market trading, on Monday or Tuesday, the Keshe Foundation will announce international backing and backed fully by the Iran National Defense University and the officials of Iran, confirming the breakthrough in corona disease. This press release will be out by Tuesday. Simultaneously, the papers will be published in Iran by the reputable international journals, which are accepted internationally. But the whole thing is that the focus goes back into Iran, cooperation with Iranian scientists and the rest of the world, to curb the corona within the next maximum 2 to 3 months, at least most of it. This is part of the best news we could give you. We held it back for months. Data statistics from patients with the records, which we were waiting for, was finally released last night. Success rate in excess of 95%, which is unprecedented. It has been a national, what we call clinical trial, and the nation of Iran, on behalf of humanity, took the test. They took the double bucket and they walked away successfully. Expect by next meeting next week, we will have a different proposition and we'll be positioned in different, what we call, understanding of the technology. At the same time, once it's released, is the job of the knowledge seekers, especially the Universal Council. I hear myself clearly. And in that process, we will go ahead with the disclosure fully around the world with what we call the understanding of the technology and totality of the world. It took some hours, days, last 2 weeks, with the full work of the Iranian team back in Iran and the head of the Keshe Foundation and the Keshe Foundation outside to put this document together. And it is so solid that no nation can put any hair in it or pull a hair out of it. It's supported by scientific documents, it's supported by what we call Iranian research development. Every institute, internationally reputable from Iran, has leaned and supported and in a way published the paper with us. And in so many ways, we have from University of Isfahan to Tehran universities and all scientists, leading scientists and government officials that stood behind us. I thank the Iranian Keshe Foundation, who solidly, doggedly dug in to get the data, to get the things done. And I thank the team of the Keshe Foundation Iran. I thank the senior research scientist in National Iranian Defense University, who stood by us to get this through. In so many ways, is thanks to the what we call wisdom of His Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran to support this technology, that it becomes part of the Iranian structure. What will be released next week will touch the life of every man on this planet. And I said, when this technology comes out, it will touch the life of every animal, because now even the animals are affected by corona. This technology from next week, when it's released in full, will touch even the life of the plants, because we know corona has transferred to the plant kingdom too. The verticals and the horizontals both got crossed and both got affected. In the coming week, we introduce new technologies to support internationally to overcome this position. As I said, corona was a key for us to break into space technology. And in the following week, post-corona, as we started, we'll go into the dimension of the teaching of the new space technology and a new understanding of the technology on the new dimensions, where we'll break open and we give everybody two chances. You choose to fly and be physical on UFO, or we teach you how to fly without dimension, which is the dimension of your soul. In so many ways, through understanding of this, you will find out one way. You fly, you travel, you see the universe in the eye of the Creator. And in so many ways, it'll change the position. It'll change the position in a way that humanity would understand more, to become mature in a very rapid way. We will see that the man in Amazon and the heads of the nations in the White House or Kremlin, the same as the man on the street, will have the same understanding and the same level of the enlightenment. As I said in many of the teachings before, we will not know if it's the soul of the king, the president, street cleaner, professor, or the man in the jungle. The enlightenment will come for the soul of the man. And in so many ways, we will see the beauty of the creation. In so many ways, why we taught in this way in the past few months is that the option is yours. You decide. We have to give the option for those who mature to develop to the next step, or those who still like to enjoy the physicality. As it's the first time we give such option. The man can choose. In a way, we could not do this if we did not have the knowledge to decide. It's your option. You want to walk to the next city, to drive, get a donkey, or fly with a jet plane. Now, mankind has two directions, physicality and the soul. And we have taught enough that you have the option. You choose. And you choose in the dimension of physicality, or you choose the dimension of the soul. Depending on your maturity and understanding, you'll come to understand and appreciate the option and the knowledge which is given. And in so many ways, the knowledge becomes accessible by totality. This time, we don't let the rabbis to hide it, that they could rob it. This time, there is no soul. The soul is silent. Many of you have the option gradually to fall in love with the creation and the creator. That falling of love will open the channel to the next dimension. This is the key. That's what we say, fall in love. And you feel it. And when you fall in love with the life of the universe, You become part of the universe. You become the travelers of the universe. And in that dimension, if you, as I say, fall deep enough that nothing matters, not even the dimension of the soul, you shall meet the Creator. Because that's the position. The deeper you go, the more you see, the more you get enlightened. So the depth of your space travel depends on the level of what you love, which is how much you give. The more you give, the more you receive. And in that process, you mature more. And very much, in so many ways, in many teachings, I always say, learn from the plasma. The more you hold, the more you give. The more you give, the more you receive, the bigger you become, the stronger you become. And in that process, you cover the full spectrum of the, what I call the length and the strength, that it covers you back to the Creator. And this is what I always say, fall in love. The more you fall in love and you can express your love, is the way it works. The Creator loves and he expresses love by what he creates. And the same has to become the soul of the man. Then you have an option to manifest yourself in the dimension of physicality. In so many ways, mankind has to be directly with himself. Mankind has to learn now the option is not anymore if it's me, could it be? Now the option is if I want to. I want to see, I take the dimension of physicality. I want to travel, I travel with the soul. And at the point of manifestation, I take the physicality. In the coming time, when the man matures, you'll find out it's very hard to convert at the point of arrival because of the conditions and the strength and the fields which you have to extend to be able to be part. In that process, what you see as UFOs, lights in the sky, are exchange stations. Is where you exchange, you develop, you enhance before your destination and your point. In so many ways, many of these stations are stationed across the universe. You will come to the universes, then you need more to understand, to convert. In the way you exchange energy fields, that the soul stays but can operate within a new dimension. This is part of the teaching that will come in the process of the understanding of it. As I explained in the past few days, the book number 9, the book of the soul, is the soul of the man and the mankind. Thereon, there is another book, and the new cycle starts, where we write the book of the soul of the universe and the way to the Creator. That book will be written in 2 ways, one through the knowledge of the soul, and one in the pen of the man, that stays for mankind to remember. In that process, you will learn 2 things: to what and what you need to do and where to go, and how to elevate to that position. The challenge is not just to know the soul of the man. The challenge thereon is how to transfer from the soul of the man to the soul of universal communities and strength, that it allows you, and the passage will be all the way you wish, to the Creator. Then there is no need for another messenger. There is no need for another somebody else to come to teach you the more. We teach you the totality. And then it's on a man tomorrow, in a million years, in billions of years, to mature to that point. There is no limitation, and understanding will stay with the man. And in that process, man will teach himself the progress from the physicality of the man to the soul of physicality, to the soul of the man, and then to the soul of the universal community level, which in fact has one track mind in it, and that's the way to the Creator. In so many ways, in that process, you will understand the fields of the universe. You understand the process of the creation. You understand the process how even your body has been put together. As I said in so many teachings before, partially man is replication of the life here, but partially man is replication of the work of the universe. You remember the orange and the cup, and how we put the orange around the cup in the water, and the orange gave the flavor and the taste and the totality of texture. And in some teachings I explain, mankind soon will be able to take the cup again and with the orange taste in it and manifest the orange. Now, if you look at this planet and the waters across it, what do you see? The cup, the water, and at the same time, you have the universe, which encircles it. So in so many ways, what you receive from the orange into the cup, you receive knowledge and life through the knowledge of universe in the cup of the oceans of this planet, where the life is done. So in fact, the life of the man is in essence part of the life of the creation of the universe and what he has in his own contact and contact to create the version of the humanity. In so many ways, man for the first time understands is not only is made and built of the essence of this planet in the physical dimension, but he carries in totality part of the essence of the universe. If you tasted the cup and the orange, how can you understand the taste of the universe in the oceans, which in those oceans was created the life of the man? So in so many ways, the soul of the man carries the essence of the soul of the universe. As we say, there cannot be any difference between macro and micro. Now you understand how mankind carries the soul of the creator within its soul. The cup is the body of the man. The cup is what the water you carried, and you became the cup and the orange and the essence of the knowledge of the universe, the same way as reflected back in the soul of the man, which partially has reflected in the soul of the physicality. Now, maybe you understand why life creates in the oceans of the universe, in fields or in matter state. Now you understand why we have to teach the totality. There is no break, there is no other understanding. As we said, the soul of the man is complete. The soul of the man is ready for the journey into the universe and beyond. But comes one point. And the main question is, where did the universe, God, is the strength and information that it made itself in universes and universe? It comes to one point. What is the creator that will reflect us within us? And we expect to see one day to get to his level. Where is the sun, the true sun that the whole creation comes from? What is the creation? And how has it embraced the whole of the universe and the universe? In a way, if you have seen the reflection of the universe, you have seen the reflection of the universe and the creator within the soul of the man, which sits within the essence of totality. Last week, we talked about the driver and the instructor. Go a step further. When you reach your soul, then that soul has a driver and an instructor. The driver being the soul of the man, and the instructor being the soul of the creator. Now you understand. In so many ways, we are part of the totality of the creation. What you see within you is what you see within the creator. It's the same story, the cup and the orange. Can't be any different. Does not need to be the liquid, but this is the way man understands. As I said, we've been waiting for the soul to arrive to complete the process. And in that completion, a new life starts. Because now the new life is not that you die to become, but you add to become. There is no need for the end. There is no need for the process of conversion. If the man matures to the point of understanding the totality through the dimension of the new creation, this is the secret. This is what you cannot wait for the last day or the promised day or whatever you've been living in. That day is when you enter and understand the creation of your soul, and through the soul you understand the soul of the creation and the creator. For the first time, we put both physicality and the soul of physicality and the soul of the creator with it. The soul arrived as part of the soul of the creator. In that sense, it needs to be to start a new cycle. Like what the man in the dimension of physicality is half complete, and in this process will be completed. Man will never take on, man will never kill. Man will never destroy another life. Now you understand the truth about the creation. In so many ways, you don't need to kill when you have access to totality for what that life brings you. Man will change and respect creation and creator, and in that process, man will fall in love with the creation and the creator. And in so many ways, because he has created to be the love of the man for creation of the universe, not just for man. In so many ways, look within, that within you find the soul of the creator. Don't look in the dimension of physicality, but understand the totality. You've had the test. Corona has brought man and humanity to his knees. And if we do not reach, the process will go further. In the paper you will see, you understand how deeply this corona will touch you. Humanity will not escape from the claws of this energy pack. But there's one question. As this energy pack understands and mutates, does he have a soul? Is this energy pack, as is part of the creation, is the creation of the creator to bring man to the point of the judgment, for him to stand still and the whole world to think? Is this a way for mankind to reach maturity with whatever he busied himself with for thousands of years, worth nothing when it comes to the pride of his life? Mankind has not seen the total power of this virus. If you decide to become the candle of light, and if you decide becomes the candle of universe, mankind has to decide which way he uses this candle, this energy, this light. Many of you will decide to take one option or the other, not on a physical dimension, but through the soul. Many of those who we have seen to have sacrificed their lives and their souls, they have not sacrificed. They went on a path of making sure they become part of the creation and the creator. In their physical life, the soul has invited them and they have responded. It's the man's life who has to decide. And it's the soul of the man. It might sound very cruel, but in essence, do the souls know and they invite the energy that their soul elevates to the freedom? Is this the passage? Is this what we do not want? Or is this a way to show there is a way? In so many ways, is why some of us take the corona and some of us don't. And some of us wait until the time comes. or be prepared to still go to dimension of physicality. The beauty with this new cycle is that we choose. We choose which one and when. And this is a chance the man has, and he's come to the point of maturity. In so many ways, mankind has become the light to understand for his own soul, to find his own way. And in so many ways, now you have an option, the full range. And in the coming time, the knowledge will be completed that you have a full choice. The biggest problem for mankind is lack of trust in his own belief. He wishes it, but when he gets it, he kicks it instead of embracing it, because to him, it cannot be. Do I deserve it? Why me? How come I see? How come I fall in love in this way? Why do I fall in love with the Creator and with the creation? At this point, mankind will realize the creation and the Creator is one. It's the man who has decided to take and look at the physical dimension and the truth about the creation itself. Taken millions of years to mature the man. As I said one day, it was the longest wine ever made. It took a long time to mature. But when you taste it, it tastes delicious because it was worth waiting for. It was worth seeing it to be developed over millions of years, step by step, understanding it. But you have to remember what is macro is in micro too. So what is in the oceans of this universe learn from the ocean of the earth too. What we take, we gave. The elevation of the soul of the man is not one-way traffic. The man elevates the knowledge he gains back to humanity and the universe. You got to remember one thing which mankind never ever wants to understand. 90% of your body, 60% of totality of your body is the water. In salt, it's exactly the same as the cup and the orange. As you are the orange to the universe is another orange to you. Is understanding of totality. Cannot be completed unless it's two. This is what we call, and has been, what we say, the twin soul. The twin soul is the same. You receive and you give. And in balance, what you give and what you receive brings what we call love. Unconditional, we support and we give. And that's what I always say, fall in love. Which means give whatever is there, you receive more for it to be able to give more. Twin life is the life of the man with his Creator in the love of the soul, not in understanding of the man about his physicality. In a way, every soul has a twin, even the Creator. And that has happened to me and manifest itself in a coming dimension and time. It's man who has to understand the totality of the creation. And this step is the biggest step for the man who's been so physical. In so many ways, we will use what we have set up to complete the process in a rapid way. Those who follow the mosque, the church, the synagogue, the temples, will follow the new teaching. We'll finish with the religions and we start the path of the soul, as the soul will decide to the path themselves. The only way is to fall in love. And then you understand how we'll be coming back. In a way, when you fall in love with the Creator falls in love with you. You become the essence of the creation. But at the level that your physicality and the soul can understand that. In the coming time, many of you, many of the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers will find what we have given you as different Ganses and the rest is there for you to elevate in different dimensions as you need. In so many ways, it's the dimension of the strength of the universe you have to call upon, not the zinc and the copper. The energy of the zinc has no name in the universe, nor the copper. But the energy of the Creator has one name, and that's love, which means you give without expectation, and you receive what is needed as a spectrum. If you look at the problems you have in the dimension of the physicality, you should have learned a lot from Corona, what we've seen and what we have to understand. Mankind has become so physical, attached, that even his body has become physical. The only part which leaves man behind on his departure is the bone, physicality, understanding of what he wanted to keep. So we have given you what you wanted. A lung which can become calcified, a liver which becomes calcified, a brain which becomes calcified. I hope you understand. You became so physical that you could only take the only virus which could leave you in a physical dimension. In so many ways, mankind always wanted to become immortal and leave something behind. You left the bones behind. With Corona, you leave everything behind. You become so physical that not even the soul can escape. I hope you understand how mankind has become so attached to physicality that he has called to the structure that make it physical. In a way, if you last long enough and accept all the fields of the Corona, you will make a statue of yourself in the bone, and it'll be attached forever on this planet. That's what Corona does, calcifies you. You wanted to be here and hold on to all physicality, and it does exactly what you wanted. You wished it as a race. You build the towers and the buildings and imprison your souls in it. This time you got so far that you called that you wanted to be part of it, to be immortal in physicality. So you have called upon it as a nation, as one planet. And as you crave for more physicality, now you even became physical yourself. If you look at the pictures of what really will leave behind, and what we see and what is in the dimension of totality, what have you left? What have you got to leave? And in so many ways, have you ever stood still to understand what is in mankind and how what you asked to build palaces and to build everything else that you wish for now becomes part of you. You asked for it, and slowly, you built it. Over time and centuries, the more physical you became, the more you accepted the dimension of the physicality. In so many ways, what you wished you got. You wanted to hold and possess, and all of it to be you, physically to hold on to. As I said many times, how much gold can you take to the grave? If you remember in the Rome, Egyptian time, they left their horses and their wealth for the passage to the universe. But one thing you forgot, you still wanted to take physicality, but you cannot take physicality. You have to leave it behind. So much so that you call the energy of the corner to give you that wish of yours. I want to show you something. This is MRI of a picture of the corona patient. What you see is classification, becoming matter state, because you want to be. You're so attached to physicality. Now you look on your death, what that lung will look in classification. Chalk, bones. This will be your lung. When we open the coffins of those who died of corona, we'll find bones like this all over. You wanted the physicality to own and possess. We have given you both. You choose. In a way, you ask for and you're given. In a way, you wanted and you've been given. In a way, become more materialistic and you see how much more you leave behind. You make a statue of yourself, out of yourself, in parts. That will be it. Then strive to become more attached to everything physical and strive to understand the further you walk away, what it has to be. Now maybe some of you understand more. Detachment brings freedom, and that freedom is for the soul of the man, to find your twin soul, to be able to live in the dimension of the universe, that through it you extend, to gain, to be, to become as two twin souls to the Creator. We become the cells of the existence. We become the cells in no physical dimension, but at the same time, as you've seen, you wish it, your body will give it. Mankind wanted to have, to possess, to be physical that he can take with him to his grave. Now you can have a chunk of heart, kidney, and a brain. You're taking a little bit more than the bones than your ancestors, but in fact, you got worse. The weight is much more heavier. Now you understand the process. We taught you everything, and we have taught you how. The way you can elevate your souls will not come by making Ganses. It comes by using the Ganses to elevate the others. In so many ways, the knowledge of universe is the knowledge of love and creation, to be created, to give to be created. In so many ways, maybe for you who understood part of the teaching in the past, you understand a little bit more as part of the teaching of it. In so many ways, universe is a womb of the creation. The fetus gains from the energies of the liquid, energies which are sitting in the womb of the mother. Now, for that to grow and to extend itself, it needs to receive energy, which means it needs to receive love, giving from the others. So the soul of the man becomes part of the womb of the creation to give. There is no difference between the womb of the mother and the whole of the creation of the Creator. When you give, you do not know, it becomes part of the soul of your child, for another creation on this planet, all is needed in another point. And the sooner the mankind understand this, the faster they go forward. Mankind has learned to give in the dimension of physicality and self. Mankind has to learn that it gives through the soul to the world of the creation. As he can make to do. Man is a point of transition. Man is a point of creation. We thought we take, but in fact we've been the givers. And in so many ways, what we don't need, we give. And what we take is what we need to survive. It would have been very hard. And as you've seen for years, trying to teach the technology. And now you will understand in coming days, the humanity will crave for this technology and knowledge. Those of you who became the knowledge seekers become the center of attention for those who we want to be part of and they seek to understand more by those who understand the totality. And in that process, the knowledge seekers become the teachers. My hope is to be a good conductor in teaching the others. The responsibility is to elevate the soul, understanding of it, not to make Ganses. But the Ganses are the way of being able to receive it. And you understand it. In so many ways, mankind has to enter in the dimension of understanding his own creation. Why and how, and what is the reason for this creation? It is not for what you think and what you thought, but in the same way as the orange in the cup, you become the orange. You become the cup. In so many ways, we leave reflections and we leave images of love to be loved and to give that we receive. In so many ways, mankind has to mature to the truth. As I said, we took a long, long way to this planet, and this beauty is the place where we live, where we enjoy to live, where we enjoy to share our love and care with those who truly care and love. Maybe mankind has matured enough to be able to take the next step, to be able to understand he has the freedom between the physicality, the soul of the creation, or the soul of the creator to be with. Mature it when you understand it. As I said, the teachings become meaningful because you have matured to it over the process of time. But you still have the option. The option is yours. Take the dimension of physicality and live within the dimension of man, or another point in the universe. But now, you don't need to wait to be taken. You take to the wings of the universe and you fly the spans of the universe. The level of your understanding, and in so many ways to fall in love, to be the giver, it allows you to transmute. It allows you to travel the depth of the universe and universe. And if you mature enough, in time has no time limit, you can mature to the level of the soul of the creator to become part of the rays of his Trinity as part of him, as he will receive from your soul to give back to, that you are part of the soul of totality. Mankind has a lot to learn. Maturity is not easy. Maturity needs comprehension of the facts. Maturity needs to understand I'm not alone, I'm part of. And in that part, My way, my responsibility is to give, to make sure, to understand the totality, what we call enlightenment, what we call maturity of the understanding of the creation. Man educates and becomes wise. In the dimension of the soul, man needs to be enlightened to understand the work of the universe. Has no pen, no paper, no computers. And in so many ways, because man has always been involved in understanding his own physicality, has forgotten how his soul can do the same, to be enlightened. And man has only educated his physical side, not the soul side. You became wise in the physical matters, but you never got enlightened in the truth about the dimension of the soul. You have to understand why we call it enlightenment. Enlightenment means you become part of the light. You understand it. You become to understand the totality. And in so many ways, we understand this is a call from the Creator. And in so many aspects of work, of life, we come to understand more. And in so many ways, we develop to become more. In understanding the totality, we understand the eventuality, what it will be, what it will take, how mankind will proceed to the next level, how would we mature to understand more. And in so many ways, is the enlightenment, is the process when the fields of the universe or the soul of the man in interaction with each other as the earth and the sun does, creates that light, the light of knowledge. Isn't this what the Moses saw as a fire? In so many ways, mankind becomes more wiser to understand. Enlightenment has to come through the soul of the man, not the dimension of the eye of the man. Man has seen enough light as the daylight, as what we call your physical dimension. But mankind needs to understand the enlightenment of the soul comes from the interaction of the fields with the dimension of physicality. One day, as I always say, one day, mankind will mature to this point. Mankind will become mature enough to look for the light, not for the physicality. And then you will see the soul of each other, not the physicality. You work through the soul, and you love and live through the soul. And with it, physicality is confirmation of the existence of it. This has never happened before, but in time to come very soon, both the physical life and the dimension of the soul of the man will be all one. God called, we answered. So what you understand is the totality of the light. Now what you understand as enlightenment. And in so many ways, the enlightenment is to see the light of the Creator, to understand how and the strength is in our light. Yes, nice one. Today we're in the office and with all the heads of the Keshe Foundation, the head of the webmaster, and the Keshe Foundation worldwide. It's beautiful to be back home, and it's nice to have a cup of tea. Home with the souls, not with the physical dimension. As usual, a cup of passion tea. You understand the physical dimension. You understand the celebration of understanding the totality, the enlightenment by the soul and not by physicality. Maybe mankind has become ready for that point of transition. Maybe mankind has become safe to understand the transition is not the end, but is the beginning. maybe mankind understands that it can be in both dimensions of the soul and physicality. We taught this thousands of years ago, and Moses stole the knowledge because he was too attached to physicality. This time we teach to all men. You decide if you want to steal from your soul and physicality, or you want to see the light, to be enlightened, to understand the totality. This time, there's no degrees, no PhDs. Moses never went to university, and Christ never took a pen. Let me see what they've done. If you get enlightened, you write with the soul, with the pen of the soul of the man. Each dimension of itself extends to the soul of the creator. As I said, you look for tools to make Ganses. Now you understand you have become the Gans and the tool for elevation of the others. That's simple. But you look down outside has become you to be inside. In a way, while you were hoping to trap, in a way, you got trapped. You have to understand the soul of the man is made of the energies and the field of Ganses. And that energy, the same as became for the water and the orange, now you have become the orange. How much can you give? How much can you extend this knowledge? And how mankind can use it from now on? Totally and absolutely goes back to the man itself in the dimension of physicality. As I always said, man will take from this knowledge and technology according to his comprehension and his understanding and his openness to understand the totality. It's you who puts the fences of the prison from this planet to your physicality and to your soul, or extending it beyond. If you look in so many ways, you don't need to think much to understand. If you understand the extent of your soul and you allowed it to become your physical dimension, extend it to become the planet extension, your galaxy and universe, and beyond into universe and beyond. In a way, you don't need to travel, as you have already established the line of light. It's how much you go more into the strength, the further you can shine. The more you understand more, the further you go. And you cross different dimensions. And then you decide on the manifestation of each level, if you decide. Till in a way you reach the point of the creator. There is no limitation, only in the level of understanding to go within to understand the higher strength of in giving. In a way, it's very much like a baseball. The further you throw the ball and it can be caught, the faster it comes back to you. It's just how you want to run the triangle, or you want to go on the circle and ignore it. Now, you understand, every soul has a center. Every soul is the sun, is the creator. Does not need to be, it chooses to be, and that choice is yours. Now you understand. Last week, you were the driver and you had to become an instructor. Now you understand a step more. You can become part of the totality to share the knowledge and that becomes the knowledge of universe. At that point, if, as I say, you throw the ball far enough and hard enough at the highest strength, it will reach the Creator, and then you'll receive enlightenment as He throws back. It's you who has created these barriers, and it's you who has to understand the totality of the work, how far and to what extent you want to throw, how much you are prepared to receive, and how much you want to extend to give. Mankind is not only entrapped with his physicality. Because of physicality, he's denied himself access to totality. And that's the whole purpose of these teachings for years, to allow you to become part, to be as it is, to be the Creator if you are enlightened mind. In so many ways, as we say, Moses only crossed this line and no further. Now the man has an option directly to. But if you remember the structure of the Ganses, the more you give, the deeper you go. And then at that point, you reach the Creator. Now, do you want to make Ganses, or you use the Gans of the soul of the man, for it's what he has to reach his creation. In so many ways, the old say, I came to get entertained, and I became the entertainer. And that's where the man is taught. He came to use, chose the dimension of physicality, and now finds out his soul can reach and become the giver of the making. The biggest question for mankind is one thing: who is the Creator? And how we are made of it? And why this way? The biggest question is mankind ready to meet the Creator? Or is the soul of the man wants to know the Creator? Does not have a physical dimension, but can manifest itself in that dimension if he wishes to. Or we choose the dimension of physicality through the soul of the Creator and to show his beauty. Can you understand such a perfect planet will have a perfect citizens? Isn't this the heaven mankind has been looking for? The most beautiful structure in the universe receives the most beautiful soul, and with it will convert the universe and become mature, that the perfection lives on this planet. Then you understand why all the souls of the universe are traveling to see the light of the creation and the Creator. Isn't this the time of celebration, when the man matures to understand the totality, the perfection? The perfection comes when the soul of this planet, the soul of mankind and the universe celebrate the incoming of the new light. And with it starts a new cycle. As we say, mankind always never looks what he has in pocket. He always looks what is in the pocket of the other ones. As we say in English, the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. But the fact is, we are on the other side of the fence. We are it. It's us who's greener. And that's what the mankind needs to understand. The beauty of the creation is not on the other side, it's within the man. And a man lives in one of the most beautiful spots in the universe, the beauty of his creation. It's very much like you have a beautiful garden and a few weeds, which if you trim them, they become flowers. They become most beautiful flowers in the garden. And mankind is not a flower. And we have trimmed it to become the shining star, the most beautiful flower in that garden. But the garden is not only the earth, but the universe. As I said before, it is so beautiful that the gardener decided himself to come and trim and make it a house to live in, to start a new life and start a new sun. If the Creator has chosen such a beauty, why the mankind destroys it and does not see the beauty it is within? Not only in the dimension of physicality of it, but in the dimension of the soul of it. When you reside, you start a family. You root in and you stay to see the new life, to see the new cycle, that the garden stays forever. In Farsi, we call it Behesh. In English, we call it paradise, or every other language. Paradise is where the man wants to stay for life. So why does the humanity and the rest of the universe has chosen this paradise? It's because what this planet is good for. Everybody makes the best of the mixture of what we call love. As I said before, nobody falls in love better than in the dimension of physicality of the man. We create beauties and we worship, we love and we adore. So mankind has to learn. If the Creator has chosen the planet, why not the man himself? Don't look into Ganses, but find to understand you've been Gansed in a way to become that, to give, to radiate. When you put a cup of life or a cup of man on the shelf, do you expect to give to it or you take from it to elevate yourself? Now you become that cup of man from the universe, to elevate the others for them to find a new dimension. And the beauty of it is, the soul of the man takes from the soul of physicality to elevate itself. That's how it is. I give and I take. Maybe now you understand more. As I said, enlightenment comes through the soul of the man, not the physicality. Now you have to decide. You want a UFO, a donkey, or the soul. I can provide the whole three. Or you want to walk it alone. Which one do you want? The donkey. Or the soul? Any question?
Yes, Mr. Keshe, in YouTube chat, just get it back here.
You were very sharp and fast on this one. You didn't say anybody has a question, anybody raise a hand.
There's no hands up yet.
The virtual soul was already talking.
I wanted to get this question in right away because I think it's applicable. It's from Chris, who asks, who actually is a wish. He says, I wish Mr. Keshe could talk to us details about detachment. And I'm wondering how you talk about enlightenment. And how does detachment work into, well, I was going to say into the screen that we're just seeing, but that's just changed. Stanley put the other screen back on there. But that's the question. That's the wish. Could you talk to us details about detachment?
Do you know the story of the rabbi and his flock? The rabbi in the Saturday mass says to his flock, give everything, be detached. You don't need anything. There are people who are hungry physically. Give everything. And the sermon finishes, he goes home. He goes to the wife and says, can you bring that beautiful leg of lamb which Mrs. So-and-so brought for us? She said, which one? She says, the one yesterday, the big leg of lamb. You can imagine rabbis always like the biggest things for themselves. It's the habit of the, what we call the lamb. The wife says, but this morning you said give it to the others. It needs, they need more, so I gave it away. He said, I didn't tell you to give it. For us to give to them is for them to give to us to hold. If you understand the essence of it. Detachments to attachments, that's the beauty of it. The rabbi wanted everybody to give as long as it's given to him. And this is a big problem with mankind. We want to give that what we are given we hold on to. The wife saw the truth, and the rabbi was still in the dimension of physicality. She understood the essence of it, because when she gave the food to the poor, she took in exchange the soul. She elevated to understand more. But the rabbi was still in the dimension of eating the physicality to have this, what we call physical reserve. It's what we understand. Detachment is not to go out and throw your livelihood away that will become given. No. The detachment comes to live the best of your life, the beauties of it, the richness of it, and in that process to share that richness. The devotion and the detachment comes by understanding the totality, not to be hypocrite. When you live the best life and you know the limitation of it, you create that best life for the others that have no limitation. This is why the Keshe Foundation has set up no churches and no mosques, and we charge no centers that people donate. We ask for donation, but we work for the work of the foundation to be paid for, or whatever we done over years. Because we keep it detached from governments that no one can dictate. But we keep it attached to humanity that they can receive the benefit of it. When you have wealth of knowledge, wealth of understanding, have the best. No one should live like a hermit and so. Especially with what has come and we have taught and what we see. If you teach them to stay and understand how to be the they become rich. Once you cover the basis of mankind living in the dimension of physicality, man will become spiritual. Man will come to elevate his soul. And this is what is. What do you call detachment? You are more attached than detached. You're like a house, cornered on all sides, and you think it's a palace. What is a palace for you? As you know, there's a beautiful English. A man's home is his castle. So, what castle do you want to make? the castle of love, the castle of light, or the castle of attachment and detachment. You buy a detached house, but you get so much attached to it that you forget about your soul. In fact, the bigger the house, the more attached and possession. You have bought all these buildings and everything else, and you wanted more and more. That in so many ways, now even your physicality is converting the physical dimension of the choke and the dust and the calcification. Mankind has chosen the wrong way, and mankind needs to become wise to his ways. So, do you want to stay attached or detached? Or you want to be the rabbi? I tell you to get attached and give it to the foundation, and then you find out you're hungry tomorrow. Then you go back to the foundation, ask for help. Say, sorry, we are here just to take. We are not givers. But when you give from your soul to yourself, you'll find detachment. Because what you give is what you don't need. And you don't need to become the rabbi. So which way do you want to play the game? Or do you want me to tell you, give all your wealth to the foundation, God will give you 1,000 more on the other side? If you look at it, in truth, all of you gave a lot to the foundation. And with it, we have managed to break it through to the whole planet. All what you shared, what you thought, what you spread the knowledge as knowledge seekers, you kept the foundation because you did it through your soul in believing what will come. And in turn, it turned up. Now look, when we went to Iran, by the teachings, now we have broken through. Your work has become the work of the foundation. Your work has become the enlightenment for the governments to see. Everything is not and should not be seen in the dimension of physicality. I give, I take. You put your time, you think, you teach. You inspire your soul and the intellect, and the same inspires you to the new dimension. And this is what mankind needs to understand. Nothing comes all the dimension of physicality of the man. Everything has to be physical, otherwise it doesn't exist. You have participated in sharing, and that sharing has become part of the structure. You don't bank it, you don't put money in the bank, but in so many ways, you paid with your souls, you shared the knowledge. You banked with the bank of the Creator, which is the sharing of the knowledge and the soul. When you understand this, you travel much deeper. When you understand this, you understand the totality. It's the first time ever in the structure of the mankind, in the totality of theology and religion and science. We teach the understanding, and like everybody else, we get the foundation to work, to earn on itself, that it doesn't need to belong to be dictated to. This is what, as knowledge seekers, we've done. It's the first time an organization can teach theology and science, and no one can dictate. We are not owned by no organization, no church. Nobody can dictate to us. We are not dictated by any investor from outside. We invested together and we taught together. This is the Keshe Foundation, and that's why we don't need the temple and the churches and the mosque. We made the temple in the heart of the man. You went to churches to give the heart. Now you build the temple inside your heart with your soul. That's the difference. This is the understanding. And as we see, we even make sure we run a commercial side, that we keep our Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers busy at work, that in the serving and working to serve the humanity, and in it, they spread the knowledge, they spread the understanding, and it will stay that way. God never opened bank, but God worked for his life to give, to bank in what he creates. And that's how it should be. And Silo is the structure of the Keshe Foundation. We don't become detached. We understand the physicality is there. If we are in this cycle to enjoy the physicality and the soul, we have to participate in both, but in the best it can be done. And sometimes you put your trust in those who steal from you, both in soul and physicality. But that's the habit of the man. You don't destroy, you just move on. Let them destroy themselves. Those who betray you, you give to their lives and let them destroy themselves. As I said, if you ever understood, the biggest, the worst ever €1 earned was by Dirk. He thought he was clever, cheated and lied. He didn't cheat the foundation or getting a court for €1. For that €1, he was too ashamed for what he cheated when he had the krona to come out to ask for help, where we were helping the others. His life was worth €1, and he gave for it. The cheapest life I've ever known. €1 life. Cheat, lie, he stole, he deceived. And because he lied and he got €1 in the court and he thought he's very clever, his life was worth €1. Because if he would have done that cheating, he could have still picked phone up, Mehran by the crown. He's saving the whole of Iranian nation, not my life, 5 weeks of it. The cheapest life. When you cheat, you pay. And that's simple. When you steal, you pay. You ask, you're given. You're given, there is no cheat. And he knew, you can imagine, a man for 5 weeks going through all the traumas of it, knowing his life can be saved, knowing he lied and he found aspect. And the beauty of it is, he was part of it. He stole from it. He deprived himself, not us. I give, I ask, I'm given with pleasure, it's mine, I receive it. And at the same time, what you receive, you have to respect. That nobody else, no one around you gets hurt, that they are respected too. But when you steal, you pay for it. Adultery is part of it. You bring it to yourself, doesn't matter how you turn it. But when the other side takes away from it, it's not a punishment for him, it's a freedom. Because he allowed that abuse to himself. When you walk away from it, it's when the balance comes, when the correctness takes place. And we've seen it. As I call $1 life, €1 cheating life, cost a life for himself. If you fully understand what is going on, it's a $1 life. Now you will understand that 12,500 euro cheating of the Belgian government will cost the nation and the kingdom. Give you a few more weeks, you will understand. So people will resent and they will change. And most probably, there will not be a kingdom. Now you understand the totality sits within the man. Is not you stolen, you be stolen from. You stolen, you be balancing the box. When you ask, it's not a story. When you take, is it? And I always said in all my life, I'll always ask and I get what I ask. Because I know what is the reason and what is the limitation of it. And I've never been refused in what I asked. If you talk about attachment and detachment, I had everything, lived a comfortable life. I detached myself from it. And I said, when I detach from it to my family, if I go back to it, I become attached to it. I became good in making, but it had no more meaning because whatever you touch, it was making. And then you detach yourself and you understand. But I don't go and live in a poverty life and everything else. There is no sacrifices. It's understanding I cannot hurt my soul, my life. Because when I had, I stolen from it. I live to the best is offered to me. And those who been around me, you see how I live. He's not living as a hermit in somewhere. I live the best. And it's your responsibility to say, live the best, because now you can create whatever you need. The basic, the basis, the fundamental need of the man to live in this technology is complete. You have to find it. Your food, your energy, your health. But if you understand the process of the spaceship technology, you have everything. Then the life becomes service, serving and devotion, to give more, to create a condition that others have the same. I never believed in suffering for the others to have. I live my best, because with my best, I can create more the others to live the best. When I suffer, I become a leech to other people's life, to their strength. But when I live a quiet life, when I live a rich life in comfort, I have the time and the dimension to do. Detachment doesn't come from giving everything up. Detachment comes from being able to give when your soul is at the level of its freedom. Otherwise, you're stealing from your soul. And then you still become attached because you have to put it back in. We've been taught the wrong way by those who created the division between the physicality of the man and the soul. The Keshe knowledge should live to the best of his ability, with the best he wishes for. And in that best, not to forget, he received it because he gave. We had the same situation with the Brazilian people. Many of them sell Keshe Foundation products. When we asked, we saw it's their livelihood. It's the only thing they have. I can enforce the logo of the Keshe Foundation and everything else on them, but it's their life. It's their livelihood. That's why we came. That's why we made all the patents open for you to be able, and we told you to use the technology freely, but don't steal from the foundation and others. You see, the life of the foundation is a copy of what it should. We saw how we got it stolen in Accra and in Italy by those who we trusted. Now look, 12 months later, the Keshe Foundation and the products bear no resemblance in some way than before. We created more technologies, we serve more people. Now you have the enhancement unit which is about to come out. You have everything else to structure the same. What happened to these people who stole from us? And watch like the story of Giuseppe. He will live a miserable life, and he has to have a child to pay through that, through his son. And the same with the other guy. They thought they flung it and they had a fun for one night. They will pay for it for the rest of their lives. Learn and write about those who betrayed the foundation and those who served the foundation. Then you understand. Those who stayed, they became richer. You look at how, when we were in Brazil and before it, how Brazilians, many of them, hundreds of them, thousands of them, they still make the gases. Then $1,000 or $2,000, what, some more. We didn't put anything on that. The same around the world. In France, the lady has sold the right to a perfume company to make a soap. She never told them that this is a Keshe Foundation technology. But soon, now we are out there to find out. And I wonder her patent and what we call her special recipe will valid. And if you did the way it's done in China, the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers openly work with the government, then we see the broader change. They still put it's a Keshe Foundation technology. They still work with the military. They still work with the government. They didn't hide it. And they brought the blessing to their nation. It's the leaders who made the mistake. And now we'll see how and why. The way we didn't go and put everything away, it came, we gave, the more we gave, the more we came. The more we gave to the nation of Iran with Corona, the more government and scientific organizations, scientists and knowledge seekers of Iran became more to serve, to bring for the rest. We didn't stay later, we didn't put in the back, we wanted it so much in play. That's detachment. I said very recently, many times, if I would have put these technologies in patterns and in it that you have to pay for it, I would have become the richest man. I would have repeated Bill Gates every day. It covers your health, your food, your shelter, your energy. 7 billion of you every day, $5, $10, 70 billion a day will add to my assets. And the space and the rest of it. I detach from it, I give it freely to you, but what you did, you put it back in, and it became the point of change of the humanity. So, what is attachment or what is detachment? I'm attached to serving, but I'm detached to physicality, but I don't live a heavenly life. I live one of the most beautiful lives. Those who are around me, I live the actual luxury because I serve it. And it comes to me, I don't go and steal it. And then it put back into the foundation. You put back in serving, time, and devotion. I don't work part-time somewhere else and come here. I live 24 hours a day around the foundation. My love, my knowledge, my care goes to the foundation. I'm detached from physicality, but I'm attached to serving humanity. MSC, one of the largest organizations in knowledge in the world in less than 15 years. It took Christ to become the number we are 300, 400 years in hiding and crusaders and traveling in the ships to get to Jerusalem just to see his place. Now you share knowledge across this planet for nothing. Just look at the list of people around the world who are there. Your most probably at this minute cover at least 100 nations. By next week, listen, we most probably cover in every nation on the planet. The voice of the Creator has never heard so clearly, so fast amongst the mankind. So what is detachment? It doesn't come to go to synagogue and give everything to rabbi and build the biggest temples and buildings and put the man's effort and life into bricks and waters which doesn't exist. We invest in the soul of the man, in comfort of the man, and we work for it. which one to use, detachment, which one is your attachment, is understanding the process, not trying to do something which you think is the process. I love and I give. And when I love, I ask for it. Can I have the love? That with it, I can extend. I don't take it because I know the how and it's my right to take. When you ask, you're not stolen, and when you're given, it's extended and it grows. And when you're taken from you, will go the same. The one who steals will lose because it's not given. So what are you attached to? I'm attached to giving and loving and caring. I'm detached from physicality. It's a wrong recipe to be on this planet, but it works. It's the best recipe to be on this planet. Is need maturity of the soul. Any other question? John, you asked question. Yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
This is John in Arizona.
Hi, John. How are you?
Oh, fine, thank you.
You're one of the most beautiful souls in the Keshe Foundation. Not one of many.
Oh, thank you very much. So if a person is enlightened and mature, then they can send their soul energy to the Gans material, and the Gans material will light up. Is that true? Is that a correct understanding? Any Gans material.
If you see the Gans lighting up, it's not from your soul of the man, it's from your soul of physicality. Because you want to see it in the dimension of physicality. The understanding of the soul, the confirmation of it, comes through emotion. That's why you have the brain. Soul understands emotion to its own language, does not see the light. In a way, the eye of the man is a detector for confirmation of his physicality. And then that creates an emotion, then the soul can see, understand. When you see a beautiful flower, you don't see it in the dark. You see the flower when it's the light.
So, for example, hydrogen. If you took a hydrogen Gans and gave from your soul of physicality, you could.
Would you feel it? Would you feel it with your soul? You will not see it with your soul. You see, the point of separation from physicality to the soul is the emotion. Your emotion does not see the light, it gets the essence of the light. And that's what your soul sees. Your soul doesn't see the day or night. In a way, your brain is your transformer, is your translator.
Mm-hmm.
And then you feel it. It has to come through man's emotion. You feel your partner. You don't see your partner. You feel their need. You feel their understanding, and you fulfill that need. Then it becomes the emotion of the soul. In the physicality, you put the light to see your partner, to enjoy the beauty. In the soul of the man, you feel the emotion to give, to see the beauty. When you see the joy, when you see the enlightenment, when you see the happiness in what they receive.
So it would carry the strength of the emotion?
Actually, you got to get rid of that emotion that you see directly through the eye of the soul, not the eye of physicality. I live by example. I show what I feel. I show what it has to be.
Okay, thank you for that.
Any other question? I don't understand. There is a question by Skywalker. He says, can you can say something about Golnium and about silver nickel counting? What does that mean? Rick, you're the man of knowledge. Is that this one? Yeah. There's another question from Hassan Halal. This is Mr. Keshe. Can you please explain more the meaning of extending the strength when you say if you extend your strength to the strength of the soul of the planet, the soul of the galaxy, the universe, the unicause, or the creator? If you follow the teaching over years by the law of creation, we have ascended the strongest. And as we give, as this is dynamic, as we give, we spread. As we spread, it's dynamic. So you spread out. But what the man does, he always sees the taking, because with this has a dimension of physicality. So in a way, we only see the anti-clock. We don't see the giving part. Because somewhere down the line, this giving becomes the taking. And if you understood that, it's very simple. The more you give out, you are met with the stronger coming in. The more you give, the stronger at that point you take. And the stronger you give, the further you go in. Here, you give many. Here, you give less. Because the strength is gone, you already spend the money. But here, the more you give, the more comes in. So you become stronger. You become stronger in the sense of getting that you have more to give. Then, in that process, you're much closer to the source. You become closer to the creator by giving more up. Because you take more to be able So that giving more, when you're near the source, you can give more. So you become stronger. Here, somewhere is the balance. And in here, you find the totality. It's very simple. Any other question? Which one?
Maybe Wayne, you want to ask the question?
But it doesn't go. It doesn't go. It doesn't open up.
Yes. Hi, my name is Wayne. I am speaking from New Zealand. And hi, Mr. Keshe. And it's just
Hello.
like to say it. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we are hearing you.
Oh, hi, Mr. Keshe. Thank you for taking my call. I am a first-time caller, and just like to say it's a privilege to be able to talk with you.
It's
And also,
an honor for us to have you.
thank you. I would like to say that this knowledge that you're speaking about is absolute, 100%. And I've never been a Gans maker, but I like to sit and listen to your teachings. And what you talk about, this light, it's something that's touched me probably about, it's been nearly 9 years now. And I don't know what I want to say. Yeah, all I can say is I know exactly what you're talking about. And the path that I've followed, I struggled to understand it at first. It was a time in my life when I was coming into an age of questioning and searching, and the only way I've found how to get there was through the old philosophers. They spoke a language that touches you, and uh, unless you've seen, you can understand the language. It's hidden, but I know for very obvious good reasons. And where I'm at now is it's difficult to describe, but you can only see it in nature. I don't have the words to say, but I have a question, but it's the question for me is the time of day. But sorry, I'm just trying to process and formulate my my question. But
do you want us to give you a break and come back after the next one?
Okay.
Thank you very much. Stay online, and when you are ready, raise your hand. We bring you back.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Christian Rima, please. We have a problem. Rick has dropped off with the power cut, so we're trying to handle it a different way.
Bom dia, eu preciso de tradução.
Portuguese? You speak Portuguese?
Sim.
Say, wait one second.
Yes.
Can we have Rafaeli translating, please? Rafael?
Hello?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Oh, hello, Mr. Keshe. Rafael from Brazil.
Hi, Rafael. Good morning, darling. How are you?
Thank you for asking, Mr. Keshe.
Pode falar, Rafael.
Rafael, would you like to translate? Can you ask him his question?
Cristiano, você pode falar, por favor?
Sim, posso. Essa semana eu tive uma experiência com o copo e eu gostaria de saber se foi apenas uma ilusão minha.
I had an experience with the cup, and I would like to know if it was just an illusion.
Can you speak louder, please?
Can you hear me better here?
Yes.
Ok. Então, Cristiano, pode fazer a sua pergunta de novo, por favor?
Durante o dia, eu tinha me lembrado de um sonho que eu tive à noite. E diante dos copos, eu tentei me lembrar do sonho e consegui lembrar claramente que foi um sonho assim, não muito agradável. E neste período que eu consegui lembrar do sonho, eu fui fiz a interação da minha alma com a alma da minha fisicalidade. E depois de um processo, eu abri meu olho e olhei para os copos e eu vi os dois copos da mesma cor, brancos. O que tem o Gans da fisicalidade também estava branco. E eu pensei que fosse alguma coisa que minhas vezes estivesse ofuscado, mas eles ficam bem na frente da tela do meu computador. E a tela estava colorida normal, porém os copos estavam brancos os dois. Isso foi uma resposta que eu tinha agido com a minha alma ou foi apenas uma ilusão da fisicalidade?
So my question is, when I woke up in the morning, I had a very intense dream, and I woke up in the morning and I had this interaction between my soul of the physicality and the soul of the man when I woke up, and I could remember the dream very clearly. And when I opened my eyes, I saw the cup in front of me, and the color of I was seeing the cup of man in front of me, and the color of the cup of with the soul of the physicality, it was white, the Gans. It changed the color. So I was pondering if it was an illusion of my eyes or if this was a response from the soul and the interaction between my soul and the soul of the cup of man. Is that clear, Mr. Keshe, the question?
A lot of knowledge seekers will go through this phase gradually, that they want to distinguish, is it their soul or is the soul of physicality what they see? And as I said, that's why we gave you the cup of man, to practice, to understand what you see and understand what you feel as emotion. And you will start seeing, you start feeling, and then it's for you to understand and comprehend the difference. And if you have to understand what state of mind was I in when I saw, I felt. Then you see the emotion, and that emotion, which is what counts. And that's why gradually many of you will go through this position. Is it? Why? You see, they've taken the trust away from man to feel his soul. And the cup of man is, as I said, a sandbox for you to try to see whether I see physical, what will show itself in the soul. You just look at the cup of man. But now look at the structure of what is made inside. How it changes shape, how it changes according to your understanding of the emotion. Do you see what you had an emotion in the cup structure? You see, I teach you slowly how to do this. When you look at your body, and this is your brain, as I explained before, your soul operates inside you. In a way, soul is not just sitting there. This is your soul. You dream, your soul communicates with another soul. This is the giving part. Your soul receives from that soul. And somewhere in the interaction of between coming back and going, you see a communication, and you call it a dream. We dream during the day as we walk. We just don't dream during the night. The dream, what we call a dream, is in fact communication between the souls. The interaction with this physical structure of the brain of the man converts the information into insight, into light, into what we see, physically connect with that. When you become good at it, when you understand it, you can imagine something, you wish for something, and I feel that wish, and I take you to that wish. You physically haven't moved, but you already had the feeling and essence because it satisfied the feeling of the emotion. And this is the way it works. I don't need to get up and give you a cup of tea. I feel the emotion of the thirst with your physicality and the soul, and I come with a cup. And this is what you got to learn. Now you can translate and I go for a cup of tea. Rafael.
I'm here, Mr. Keshe.
Now translate and I go for a cup of tea.
Então, Cristiano, você está me ouvindo aí, Cristiano?
Sim, tô.
Você estava no ensinamento em português também ou você estava ouvindo só aqui no inglês? Vou traduzir para você.
No início eu estava ouvindo só aqui no inglês. Aí eu vi
depois
ligação em sua voz, eu voltei para lá, mas aí você já tinha passado. No início eu não ouvi, não.
Tá, então eu posso te falar depois, não vai prolongar muito aqui. Aí eu depois
Tá
eu te
ok.
So,
Eu só queria...
I was making the translation in the Portuguese when you were saying, so he could be able to listen there. So I think it's...
Ô, Rafael.
Yeah.
But if he's here, you got to translate for him. The rest of the Portuguese who are here want to understand too, and the soul of those who aren't.
Ok. Então eu vou falar em português aqui que foi explicado pelo Sr. Keshe. Na verdade, o que o Sr. Keshe estava falando aqui era sobre a interação da alma que tem no homem com a interação que está fora e como você dá e recebe nesse processo. E nesse dar e receber, você vai ter a interação entre essa alma central e a alma que está ali. Então você tem essa necessidade do homem de confirmar através de fora a interação que ele tem com a alma também. Então essa foi uma necessidade que aconteceu do homem desde o início, para poder ter uma confirmação de fora disso, pela conexão, desconexão que teve com a alma dentro dele.
Ô, Rafael, posso?
Oi, Cristiano. Sim.
Quando o senhor Keshe falou aí a respeito de que o sonho, a interação da alma com a outra, né? E eu posso contar um pequeno detalhe do sonho.
So he would like to know if he can tell you detail of his dream.
How long would it take?
Quanto tempo vai tomar para você contar isso? Vai ser
Não,
breve?
é bem sim.
You see, we don't interpret soul. You have to understand or dream. You have to understand the condition you're in and has a meaning for you. Because in so many ways, a man should never interpret the knowledge or the information of the soul, because there is a reason for it, and it has to stay that way. You can tell us the story of what you saw with the soul. I'm sure it'll be very interesting, but you can't ask us to interpret or see what it is, because that dream you had or soul contact is something to do with you and your soul and the souls you're in contact with. No one should ever say, I can interpret the dream or the soul.
Então, na verdade, Cristiano, foi falado pelo Sr. Keshe que Nós não fazemos interpretações de sonho, nenhum homem deve interpretar o sonho. Tenho certeza que é muito interessante o que você tem para compartilhar sobre o seu sonho. É uma coisa que é algo que você tem que refletir sobre, porque ninguém pode fazer essa interpretação para você do sonho. Entendeu? Então é um processo que você tem que ter com você.
Ah, tá. Não, só para resumir, pelo que eu entendi, foi uma mensagem da minha esposa para mim, esse sonho.
So just to make
E
a
eu,
summary about my dream, I think that it was just a message from my wife to myself, to me.
e eu acredito que o copo, pelo fato de eu ter visto a cor branca, que seria a mesma cor do copo do homem, foi uma resposta para mim que era real. Obrigado, Fael. Obrigado, Mr. Keshe.
So I just wanted to share my experience that by the fact that I saw the white color in the cup, that's not supposed to be white, the color of the Gans, that was the copper. It was like a feedback for me that I received that message in the dream. So I just want to say thank you, everybody, and thank you, Mr. Keshe, and just share this.
Thank you very much. No. Do you have anybody else on it? Magnets can come in anytime. Which question?
Yeah, did you have one?
Oh, it says a while back you asked us if you would like to see the soul of Jesus. So when will we see? In time. It's a question from Mark Corinne. Says a while back you asked us if you would like to see the soul of the Jesus. So when will we see it? I answered this before and I answer you again. And that is, you heard the voice. And if you understood that, you call upon your soul to see the soul. There's no magic show. We're going to show the soul and everybody be there to see. It depends on sincerity of what you wish and what you have put in it to get it. You can ask for it. And if you understood the maturity of it, you understand that if you're asking is sincere and it means something to you, then it will take place. It will be there. It's not going to be a magic show on CNN or BBC. Today we're going to show the soul. And this is what we should have understood. If your wish and understanding is sincere enough that it needs for that his presence elevates your soul to the next step, that will take place. As I said many times, he is not and he will not come down to the chimney at the same time tomorrow. Yesterday, we were talking about the new enhancement system, and I said, we forgot something in the structure of the enhancement system. And if you look at it, there's a big problem with the enhancement unit. If I go according to you people, this is the enhancement unit. It is 10. And if we can elevate your soul, where is it going to go? We forgot to put you a chimney. As one of our friends said, is it going to be the white smoke or the black smoke? It's not, I said, it's not actually the Vatican, is it? What you see is the same as what we just had from our Brazilian colleague. Is you who enlighten your recipients. Some rely on physicality and some rely on understanding of the soul. How many people became Christian by dreaming about the Christ and saw his beauty? As he has no time and no space, anyone who believes in Christ, in true essence of his teaching, should be able to see. Just because you became Christian by the name, because the mother took you to church and baptized you or whatever, hasn't stopped the position. Read the history of all the religions. How many people fell in love with Muhammad, just not even heard of his name, to his soul and his teaching of his soul? You think after 2000 years that does not still exist? It's you who has put the limitation. And it doesn't come in your sleep. You could be walking the streets and you see this. And this is how it is. Just because it's 2000 years down the line, it hasn't changed the strength of the soul of the man to see. Read the history of Christianity or all the religions. How many people fell in love with Muhammad even never seen him? It's the message of the soul, and if you are there, it received. Has no time and space. And it's not a magic show. Even if I make it present, only those souls who have the sincerity to see shall see. If you listen to last week's teaching and the Brazilian teaching, you missed a very big point. At that stage, the presence of the soul, it tells you, I felt the hammer, I felt the nail, and I felt the flesh. And I heard the hammer and the nail. You heard the voice, but it's man physicality he has to see. Then you have to see with your own soul.
Mr. Keshe, thanks for answering my question. It's Mark from Cape Town. Another question I'd like to ask, those units that have come up, but it's not been sold yet by the Keshe Foundation, the one that, the unit where you can put it in front of a hospital and it sorts out. The unit that you put in front of the hospital,
Yeah.
I think been manufactured in Iran.
Yes.
Are they coming up for sale?
Yes.
And we, right, because it hasn't been traded in the store yet and we don't know the price. And I think that
is that we call cost the foundation at the moment, around about 15,000 euro basic cost, 20,000 basic cost, and we put it out according to the basic cost. It's around about 20,000 euro.
And have they got, have they got a lot in stock?
We deliver from Iran within 7 days from Tehran and Isfahan.
And if we're interested, must we go via the store?
We have not put it there, but we can put it through this door.
Is there a name for it so that if I need,
That's enhancement trailer, we call it. It's called the plasma enhance. It's called Gans plasma production unit.
Gans.
If you want, we can put it up. There is no problem, but it takes 7 to 10 days to manufacture and ship.
Sorry, what was that whole name for it? Gangs?
It's called Gans plasma production unit. You're talking about this one. Let me check. I have to go through it. This unit, if we're talking about, I can't get into my.
It's the one in the case with the Iranian flag and all that on there.
Yes, just 1 second, please. This will be launched next week in conjunction with the Iranian National Defense University, Keshe Foundation, Iran. And the structure will be set through the company which is set up to operate in Iran. Just 1 second, please. We were waiting for the what we call the paper to be completed. We received not the last part of the statistic, which is confirmed. It should come to us. We got the data. It's been waiting for the signing those papers by the university. If you're talking about this one, if I'm correct. This is the unit which is now in operation. It will be sold through it is 2 locations has been allocated for it to be produced in Iran, and we can put it on, but it'll be done ready for the publication. As part of this system has attachment units which comes from the Austrian manufacturing side, which is using for a spray for the hospital and for environment. It's 2-piece. Getting that part, you produce the gases, but you have to do the other part of it, which is the unit which is coming from Iran, the same as it is. You got to go through what we went to Iran. We developed, we delivered, we supported, and then you need to, the way it's been shipped to Brazil now, you need the what we call the 3 units which goes with it. And what we need to do is just that produces mass amount of material, and then you have to be able to use it to deliver it. And it comes with a system which comes from Austria manufacturing, which are 3 pieces, comes in 1 box. And that is, this one sold is just about 10,000 euro. So the 2 units together is around about 30,000 euro put together. A full for a hospital, but it's not the hospital. It covers everything. It covers your supply to the hospital, and then the community, and then the, what do you call, in the hospital, the way we did in Mahalat. We sorted the hospital out first with it, then we sorted out the people that were at home sick, and then now we had a surplus production. They start sterilizing the city. That's how it worked. When it worked in the what do you call the hospital, then the hospital moved into the what do you call the houses with the sick people, and in less than 2 weeks we had no more sick people. So then we moved into we had a surplus continuous production. So we moved into cleansing up around the hospital to start with, and then the whole city, and then from the city center outward. It took a month, but as the production came, more and more was covered, and the city is green. You got to realize in the paper to be released, and we done before with the Universal Council, we have released the name, the city, and everything else. So it's not something it might be done, it's completed. And now that knowledge, with a lot of more understanding technically for what we call governments to check, with the new statistics coming out in the hopefully next few days. We're hoping by Tuesday, it will break a lot of things through. You have to do all of it. You cannot just take one part of it. You produce gases, what are you going to do with it? There's an inhaler, there is a machine to spray. And as you have seen with the Keshe Foundation, we have shown it in Iran. This is the vehicle. It carries the logo of the Keshe Foundation with the beautiful flag of Iran.
No, that's the unit I was speaking about, yeah.
Yes, that's the one. It's a gas plasma production unit. You produce it, and then you have to have the backup. They can take the cups home to make it at home. You make them independent, and it's for life. And these are the units which are already shipped to Brazil. The enhancement, the inhaler system, it supports 4 people at the same time in hospital. And this is the water unit, and this is a spray unit. You spray. The way to use this is immediately when you start, you don't go for the patients. First of all, you spray the hospital inside out. You contain it inside. There's no use you putting gas and all the viruses just coming attached to it. You make your patient the target in a way, if you look at it. The process, there is a process we advise the governments and officials to do. You spray the whole hospital top to toe first. You contain it. You spray the building of the hospital from outside. And then you contain it. Anybody comes to the hospital, you spray. So you create a zero condition. Then you go for your patients with the doctors. First, you secure your doctors. Doctors go at the same time through the same process. Then you go for the patients. Because the doctor goes from one patient to another, carries a different version of the virus. So he literally, unknowingly, is contaminating different strength of it, the depth of it. And because it goes from one to another, now the doctor picks up one. That's one of the reasons we're losing so many doctors. They give to the patients, and then they go and collect from the patient different strength of mutation of it. And they die. They become the bank of it. The process of it is, we give you the machine. First thing you do, you spray the outside, the inside, the doctors, and then the patients. Because you have isolate, now you have a little thing to handle. Because there's no more coming, now you create a security. What we saw in Iran, they did the patients first, and then they did their houses, and then now we see, we are wise to it. And then you have surplus, you have no patients. But the corona is still in the city and in the town, people come and go. You use the corona to go from the roads around the hospital out, that you don't bring what you secure. And you go out securely, cover more. And anybody comes into the hospital, you still spray, you still contain. And you give the cups, people go home, they're safe. You saw the pictures we showed, the beauty of using the masks to give in the water, because now you start securing the mosque, you start securing the environment, now you go home. This 3 system is already shipped to Brazil. And this unit from Iran is due, we can deliver the minute we receive orders from next Tuesday when we release the paper. All these pictures are part of the report. I think it's about 20,000 euro. And the other unit is 10,000 euros. So a pack unit, you literally walk people out of the hospital, and everything else is 30,000 to save 30,000 lives, 100,000 lives, because there's no limitation. Cost of saving life become less than 50 cents. Controlling the contamination. That's where it comes from. But this unit then goes, and you follow next year How many people get winter flu? None. Because you continuously decontaminate. Do you want one? We place it on the internet and you can order one. Order it as a set. 7 days, then we have to arrange with the Iranian officials how to ship it to your country. I'm sure it'll be at least about 10,000 euro plus to ship it. Or you ask your government, I bought it, I want to ask if Iran Air Force, military, or Sabah will deliver it as a gift. You purchase, I speak to the Iranian officials, we cover the cost of the fuel.
That's the intention.
They say money talks. We place this one Tuesday on the internet as part of the Keshe Foundation pool set, around about 30,000 euro. And it'll come with a flag of Iran on it. One of my work, pardon?
Sorry, what I wanted to say is before you explain this whole thing now, I actually thought this unit was just giving out the plasma fields to everything in the hospital.
No.
But now I understand the way it works. Thanks.
It's a massive production system, plus it covers itself. Say Anand says on the YouTube, could you explain how fields replaces materials and how we can control fields? How the fields can be controlled without Gans? Can we create condition for the fields with our emotion? Yes, we can. Of course. It's the understanding of the emotion and the need for that emotion. What does it satisfy? Does it satisfy hunger? Hunger for emotion? Hunger for a physical hunger? The need for confirmation of existence, that if I'm not hungry, I exist. Why do we eat? Because we want to confirm we exist. We are one of the worst attention seekers in the universe. And the worst attention seeker, the worst ADAD I've seen, and HCAD is the creator. He wants attention, he wants to be loved. So if you have a creator who is so attached to confirmation of his existence, have you found anybody more ADHD than him? But the only thing his ADHD is he gives so much and he moves so much that he moves the universe, a unicorn, for what is created in it to love him. You've seen what we call attention deficiency, hyperactivity. I've never seen anything more hyperactive than the creator. He creates the universes and everything else for it to get the attention of those who he creates to love him. So what is the difference with the man? And if you understand this, why does a man spend all his life to love and to give in a dimension of the soul? Let him be hyperactive, because in a way, in that hyperactivity, he might meet the creator of it. In so many ways, mankind needs to understand a lot more. I always said the most hyperactive guy I ever known is the creator. Have you seen a single planet stand still? And what does it say? It says, I made you to make children that they may love me. So he's so busy moving everything to make things that they may love him, because then he gets attention. When you love your child, whatever he does, oh, it's so beautiful. Because that beauty is given by the child to you to confirm, I'm the creator of such a beautiful thing. And if you've seen anyone more hyperactive and ADD than the creator, I welcome you. I want to see it. But the beauty of it is, pharmaceuticals have not managed to find any chemicals for him to control it. And if you understood how he changes his emotion with what it creates in physical life, any other question? Welcome you back, Rick. Can Rick hear us?
He's on the phone.
Any other questions? It says, it says the physicality would not do what the soul without emotion. So once without emotion. The physicality would not do what the soul wants without emotion. The physicality has its own brain. It does things. And emotion is reporting back to the headquarters. And in so many ways, emotion is part of the communication between the two. Yeah, go ahead, yes, please.
Hello, Mr. Keshe. It's Dean here from the UK. Can I ask a question, please?
Yes, Dean, of course.
Mr.
Yes,
Keshe, can you expand a little on, you said many souls are going to be revisiting this planet. Can you expand on the souls that are going to come back to visit us?
Let you feel them, see them, then it explains itself. There is a time and a place and a position. It's not the day of judgment, it's that day has a significant position for itself. And it is what you hear, what we call is the call of the souls of the planet. So how do you want to see it?
Are these souls visited before, been present many times before, or?
I don't know. One asked them, they're different one, not mine. You see, we are not making a statement just to something that this is something which mankind, some will feel through their souls, and those are physical and decide to appear in the physical dimension will see with the physical eye. You got to realize this understanding of the event and its significance, not watching things come and go and see the light. Or you feel something. It's a maturity of understanding. As I said, we don't do any more magics. Magicians finished with a couple of prophets before.
Thank you for that. That answered my question, because for me it was all about being to feel these souls. So yeah, you answered my question. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. There's Shahnas there. Shahzad? Mehnas, yeah.
Judith, raise the hand.
Mehnas, would you like to speak?
Just a moment.
Hello, good morning. Thank you, Mr. Keshe, for all you do. And I had a question. What is sort of a guarantee that the purity of the intention of the founder of the first group of this movement doesn't change after this first generation? I explain. Like, you know, our past, that every movement, every religion in the past.
We are not a movement, we are not a religion. You see, science state, a Christian, a Muslim, a Jew, a Buddhist, an atheist, sees the light and it gets the benefit of the light which Tesla created. The same with a car. So put it this way, we are not organized, we are a scientific structure that through the science we understand the essence of the creation. So we are not a movement and we are not a religious. We is, as we said, the connection between the science and what we call theology. Through the theology we understand the science, and through the science we understand the clarity of the theology. And we can make both. And we can explain all of it. So we're not going to die with the first movement. Magraphs, creating energy, helping yourself with viruses, will stay as long as the man travels the spans of the universe, and is not for mankind only. but for many, 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 many other races in the universe. So we are not political or scientific or whatever. My technology, my science comes from soul of the creator and go back to him. When the man reaches the maturity of the time and the space, when he manages to reach the ultimate goal and the strength. So that movement should stay in Paris. That's your revolutionary brought up or understanding of it. We don't have it within the structure of the Keshe Foundation. I think I've answered you.
Yeah. So
That
I mean,
that comes from your upbringing in the French capital and the French system.
they're revolutionaries.
They're revolutionaries, yeah.
The
It
thing
took a
is,
long time to get rid of Napoleon and his entourage. There's still some left called the Belgians. Huh?
they're nice people. I have a good.
Everybody is
traveled.
nice.
Yeah, I traveled. I had a good memories of the people. They are very simple and nice. In every
Listen,
side.
the French had two things wrong with them. One is their food, and the other one is the love of wine. If you take those two away from them, we can cope with them.
They like every pleasure of every sense. That's what matters more than money, more than everything. And
If-
the other thing,
That's why we love the French kiss, because it transfers the totality of the emotion when you kiss the French.
and they're proud of it.
Of course, that's the beauty of them. Have you seen two Martian kiss? They have no lips.
The thing is, what about that power struggle between the elites after that? To keep the status quo of the system, they might get into cheating and lying and everything. The first elite group after that. How is the guarantee we don't it doesn't happen to us? You understand? There is an elite created and they get some power because of that. How would guarantee that they don't get into the power conflict of the statute code to keep that and lie and cheat and forget the ethos of the first time?
What do you mean?
Like every time they give a power to a man, even though he might be very virtuous, then they become into lying and cheating stuff. That's in the power.
This is the bandwidth, which in so many ways will be automatically as part of the structure of the elevation of the soul will diminish. Power, the essence of power, is so much on the outer edges of the brain of the man, because that's what feeds the man. It's even lower than the essence of the physicality, what we feel emotionally with our feelings, with our physical body. And that's why it's so uncontrollable. And when you elevate the soul of the man, that goes beyond the boundary of the physicality. And because when they get power, the first thing is they use their physical position. When you gain power, you should become more humble and respect the people around you and never take just because you have. You always ask. The more powerful you become in any sense, the more humble you come to respect others to ask. Does not matter what level, be it loving, be it anything else. men at the point of power should not be those who take, should ask, can I have? When it's given, it becomes addition to the strength, and the power then doesn't exist. Power comes out of possession, not by asking, but by taking and seeing the right to take. And a man is the one who gives it. You love someone, it says, can I love you? Because this is what I want. And if you answer back, I love you back. Does not matter, it's a cat, is a man, is a woman, is anything. And then that doesn't bring possession, that brings more love to give. People, a lot of people asking, why do you keep on asking? I'll say, can I have this? Can I have that? I never do unless I've been told, yes, you can, whatever. In my married life, I never ever been to go into unless once, because of the condition, ever go into anything private of my wife. It's not mine. I ask, I said, can I have that? It's in my bag. I said, I'm not going in there. It's your bag, not mine. This is the way you want to make love to your partner and to your wife. Can I make love to you? You ask because I'm going to use your physicality. Or you create a condition that the giving is so much that the answer is your wife, but yes, by the dimension of emotion. You don't need to ask whether you can create that condition. That's what I need. Would you like to be part of it to give me to satisfy that need? Be the hunger. Be it wealth. And if you are sincerely given,
I
friend,
wish.
I understand. I know a man. He went and asked, I want the wealth beyond, and I've explained that before. And because he asked with sincerity, he was given. You see, if you steal, you become Mr. Gate. He stole from the apple, and now he steals lives. And will punish that soul beyond. That soul needs, not a punishment, needs elevation, that through itself, he sees the pain of people. His punishment is his elevation of it. In the Farsi teaching this week, I could attend a short time. And one of the participants asked, when they knew the report is coming out of Keshe Foundation very soon, and he said, can we ask, or something like that, we go in front of the ministry and we start, what do you call it, people gathering together there. I said, that time is gone. You elevate the soul of people in the ministry. You crowd them with the love and care that their soul will elevate. When I kill you, I'm a murderer. But if you kill yourself, you committed suicide. I carry no pride. When a minister feels and understands that he's responsible for so much pain, and he has to pay for it to build. You build the house to get, you build the wealth to get higher. And then how stupid are you to go and destroy it? You make a child to love to give, and you go and kill it, or maim it, or damage it. It's the same what I said to the Iranian officials, very openly last week, and this week teacher. You are responsible for those who die in Brazil, in the United States, in Africa, in jungles of Africa and Brazil and in China and the rest. When you withhold knowledge which is there, you're responsible for it. And now let the guy see what he does. Is he gonna stay and hold, or is he gonna open up and run and let everybody else go?
So we should elevate.
It's the only way you can't, if you take your story. You can ask the soul, can I give you it for you to elevate? Are you ready to receive it? It doesn't matter if you're thirsty and you keep your mouth shut and I put you under the shower, does it? You have to open your mouth to drink it. You gotta have wanted to take it. I can throw you in the swimming pool of water. If you don't want to drink it, you keep your mouth shut, you die of thirst. You have to be there to accept it. When the thirst for the revelation of the soul become more than the thirst for possessing physicality, then the man matures.
If men mature, it's just a fantastic celebration.
We all mature in our own stages by the way we fall in love. Maturity of the man comes when man truly falls in love. Any other question?
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
And two ladies waiting.
Oh, I have to get to. I've got a problem getting to this. Okay. Do you want to open up, please?
Jeanette, go ahead.
Yes. Good morning, Mr. Keshe.
morning.
This is the platform for Spanish. Two persons from the platform have questions. The first one is from Ignacio, and he says, create different nucleus with glass to create different interactions within the cup, different potentials with the atomic weight and sales because of his atomic weight. Sorry, sir, that's exactly what he put there. He's saying the atomic weight and the level of alkalinity or acidity. If he puts different nuclei with glass to create different interactions within the cup, this difference of potentials in the atomic weight and depending on the alkalinity or the acidity, will that affect the atomic weight of the structure?
I don't understand the question.
Okay, one second, please. Let me see if he can explain better. Ignacio, dice el señor Keshe que no entiende su pregunta, si puede formularla.
This one.
Okay, let's go then to the other one, sir.
Yeah, I've been reading the webmaster gives me the thing is too long and we don't understand what it is.
Correct. Dice que su pregunta es muy larga y que no la entienden. Okay,
You gotta
let
be
me...
short and sweet.
Sí, ok. Que su pregunta debe ser corta y dulce. Okay, let me go to the other one, please. This is from Lizzie. Lizzie says, there are some brothers in space. Are there different categories of amongst them. And then she says, in the past, there has been spiritual orders that teach us that in the universe, each day is helped by the planetary logos. And in our physicality, is there a being that corresponds with this same category and that will help us?
Why does mankind needs help?
¿Por qué la
Mankind
humanidad
has the
necesita
knowledge.
ayuda? May I translate?
Yes, please.
¿Por qué la humanidad piensa que necesita ayuda de otros si la humanidad tiene el conocimiento? Go ahead, sir.
I don't understand. Well, I don't understand. How can I?
No, you answered the question.
You answer it. And I don't understand this question. It's so long, this guy asking, but doesn't make any sense. It's a full page, but you don't see it.
Can we go to Azet?
Yes, yes. There is the word of knowledge.
Good morning, Mr. Keshe.
Good morning, Allah.
Mr. Keshe, I have a few questions about emotion. They're all related. You see, emotion is the communicator between the soul of physicality and the soul. But at the same time, we say we should control it. Is it like you're driving a car, and when you don't control it, you're driving in the dark, and when you control it, it means you have your lights on, you can see better, yeah?
Yeah.
And then the next thing is, why intense emotion? Like if I keep anger for such a long time for intensity, or love, I can get enlightened. What is why the intensity of emotion can make you enlightened?
Repeat again, please.
If you really become angry, you can keep the intensity really high. This is something that the masters in India, they talk about it. If you keep an intensity of emotion really long enough, it doesn't matter what emotion it is. It could be love, it could be anger. You can get enlightened. Why?
Because you go to a different level of strength. Either one brings you different strength of knowledge. And that becomes part of your soul, part of the knowledge you store, you take from the soul and you add it into the memory of the emotion.
Is it like when you have a pressure cooker, and then if it comes to a point, it just opens up? Is it like that when you keep the anger so intense, suddenly that
the thing is, anger is the physicality of the man. We've never seen an angry soul. I'll put it this way, I've never seen an angry soul. And I've traveled a long time, a lot of places. The anger comes when the dimension of the soul of the man and the soul of physicality can't agree. It cannot be processed in emotion. Or we don't understand that level of emotion. It is something which is about, it's like when you speak to someone and they say, this, I'm telling you, this is what it is. And you say, you get angry for it because you don't understand. It is part of the emotion, it's part of understanding the process. And if you're not aware of it, when you don't see it, when it's not part of you, you don't see it. So you react to it. And you find out the reaction of the others to what you reacted to is not what you meant. I see this very clearly on a daily basis with me. And I always said, when you know your weakness, you're strong with it. And to get back to that position takes a lot of knowledge, a lot of understanding of the situation, because otherwise it will stay the same.
Mr. Keshe, what about the intensity of love? If the intensity of love really becomes really high,
then what you got to learn from it?
what do you learn from it?
I don't know. It depends on the person. Can you love one thing or can you love many the same? And can you extend it to the Creator? Then you learn, you have the first step to learn. You see, mankind never learned loving because it happens a lot of time. A lot of mothers fall in love with a man. And then when they create a boy, to them, they love two men. But when they create a girl and the father falls in love with a girl plus the mother, the love of the father for the daughter is not less for the mother, it's more or less more for the mother because it gave him the beauty of the girl. But the mother sees the girl as a competition and then ruins the life of the man who she created the daughter for, and herself and the daughter. I've seen many, many of these cases. Mother's jealousy for the daughter because the husband loves her so much. You created it to be loved. And then because of that love, if you nourish with him the love you created, you both love the most beautiful thing that you both created out of a love. But mothers see the girl as a competition because it's a girl. And many, many women do this. Many. A large number of women, especially with their first daughter. They destroy the daughter because the man loves the daughter so much. But they don't see it. He loves because of what he has created through her for him. And then it becomes jealousy. And then becomes everything the girl does is wrong because now it's competition.
And Mr. Keshe, when someone falls in love, does the physicality soul and the soul both agree on that? They both are in love?
Depends what is fallen in love, the soul of physicality or the soul of the man.
But they cannot be both?
Yes, most probably. Then
but how can you tell which one is in love?
You will know in time. Is what you understand. You see, loving is giving everything for me not to possess is the extension of. And this is what it is. This is the way it is. I've seen many, many knowledge seekers, especially women, who fall in love, and the husband is everything they loved, and when they gave it life to the daughter, the husband became the biggest enemy. And then, because they see the girl as an enemy, they try to look for love somewhere else to fulfill, but they don't see that girl is the source of love for both. When you create a child that way, and then you see that love, you use that love, the child, to go to the next level of loving. And if you can love more too, because now you have the practice, you know how it is what to love. And then you extend that love, because love of child is the only detached life for love. There's no expectation, especially in the early life. You don't expect anything. You don't expect from a baby to laugh and say thank you. It's got no teeth, nothing, but you give all the love to it and you nourish. And if you can keep that process and extend it to your husband, to your other children, to the society, then it's a different dimension. but mankind fails in the first step. And that process is what no one understands, how the emotion plays this game between the soul of the man and the soul of physicality. If you fall in love with a soul, you never ask what and where, you just follow. Because you know all the arrangement has been made for it to be there.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
This is one of the biggest social problems in the families, and I always said part of the teaching has to come inside the Keshe Foundation because you have to enlighten. I've seen many, many cases in the Keshe Foundation where the mothers, especially mothers, you see the other way too, that they see their daughters are the biggest enemies. And they ruin their life. They ruin the life of the husband, they ruin the life of children, because the first or the second child is a girl. And that love creates jealousy beyond. If in the school time we are taught that loving what you create from the man you create there should become an extension to the love of the society, because that's what it brought it in. And the society is not man on the street or whatever. It's the society to live within the structure of the tree. And then you extend it. But the mothers, as usual, are the most jealous things I've ever seen female creatures. One thing I can understand in humanity, jealousy of a woman. And then you see what happened. They destroy themselves out of it through their own stupidity of understanding, not understanding the true love. Many, many men love to have daughters. And men love to have boys to play football with. But the daughter is something, it's mine, I have to look after, I'm responsible for. Boys gets up and goes and plays and he's gone. And the joy of having a daughter is never understood by the man. And the women, when that daughter comes, they just change. Because now there is somebody else I share with. They don't mind if you share it with the boy and go and play football with him. Come on, take him for a game. You make the soup and you make the lunch. They come back from football. I have everything ready for him. But you take your daughter for a football, God forbid for the woman. She's taking my place. I should be in that place, not her. And then the whole jealousy starts. And they destroy their lives. Not understanding that is the biggest problem. And this is one of the pitfalls of the creation with humanity, even though we are living the life of the man in the hand of the women. There's a weakness in that structure that we have covered it and fulfilled it this time. You fall in love with the man who creates your daughter, because through there she loves you more, because you have created it, you are the creators of it. And a lot of women kick their husbands away because he loves what they created for him. They created that for him to love, and then they just fall out because they think something is stolen. They don't learn that they have something for them to add to. And this is one of the biggest, what I call, pitfalls of the society I've seen for years and years. And then the father brings a girl as a boy to do the things because he wants to have a girl, but still he wants a boy. What do? We get a tomboy. Play football, no mechanics and everything else. And then what happens? The more he does to have, he wanted a boy, but he turned up the girl. Now I changed the girl to a boy to do what I want to do with my boy. And then he has already done it with the girl. So when the boy comes, he already had his boy life with the girl. The girl is totally confused, doesn't know if it's a boy or a girl. And the boy is looking for a father to teach him how to be a boy. He already trained when he doesn't want the second one. So you end up with another problem child, the second one or the third one, where is the boy? And this comes out of the lack of the knowledge to the women of the society. Most of the problems in the house comes from not being educated in social structure of the life and loving. And then it builds up to the other problems, and then other problems, and then other problems. It's a lifetime story. As I said very recently, what we see, people, we see numbers, 200,000, 1 million died of corona. These are 1 million fathers, sons, children, and the rest of it. The child who lost her father to corona today, and it's only 1 or 2 years, she lives another 80 years. Doesn't finish the 80 years, because now not having a father now goes to the child, and then her child, because he doesn't know how to love with a father. And as I always say, first thing they should do in school, the first 2 or 3 years, to teach emotion and love and understanding human behavior, not ABCD. And the languages and mathematics. We become so physical that even have forgotten how to train the soul. That's a long time. And the only thing we do at the age of 12, 13, we take 2 or 3 hours or a term to teach how do you make the next child to be as bad as you, because just to know how you make it pregnant and how you keep it. Sex education in Western Europe is our way. Why don't we teach the first day, first week, the first year, not punishment, but the love, how you love and how you give. Oh, you want to know that? You go to the church or to the mosque. Here we teach you alphabet. So we already created a nation and a culture of physicality. And then the whole thing brings misconduct, misbehavior for the rest of the child. Any other questions? Shall we call it? I love to run classes in how to be a parent, how to actually learn how to be a mother, how to be a father, morally, and not morally, understanding the emotion. Morality comes with understanding, which means you respect, you value. No more questions. Shall we call it a day? We call it a day. Thank you very much for being here. And as we always say, what we learn, if we learn by the soul of the man, will become impression for the life in the union. What is learned by physicality stays behind and not worth learning. Thank you very much for today. And we'll see you next week, hopefully. Next week when we meet with the celebration of being able to offer an alternative and not the only alternative for Corona to the world. We have already asked our team in global to be prepared for the release of press release international support back of the Iranian government officials in the office of the Examiners of Iran, not the office of the President of Iran and his entourage. As we said, his position as a president is unattainable with what we see. Every child having not fathered today because of Corona is the responsibility of the President of Iran, Ayatollah Rouhani. Holding information, withholding information to save life is a criminal offense to the soul of the man. Thank you very much indeed for today.
Hello. We are the Keshe Foundation. Our mission is to bring peace on earth and join humanity with the universal community. We wish and work to bring man as equal to all beings in the universe. By teaching plasma science and technology equally to everyone, no one is left out and no one is abused due to lack of knowledge. By donating to us, you can help achieve this goal. KesheFoundation.org/donate.